Ooh, you think I'm teasing you? Who's teasing who? PJ goes live, won't let me interrupt. She's just teasing me. Yes. Am I teasing you? It's because PJ's teasing me. Some more? Huh? Yes. Yes, I have him eating out of my hands. Oh, nobody's watching. Oh well. That's how popular you are when you get picked on. You want some more? Where'd that one go? You got that one, huh? Let's see what we got for a picture now. Stop teasing me. You have to tear the center of the stem off. Hey, Mammy. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, you're not starving anymore? The first 5 bites did it for you? Well, you're going to put it right down on top of me. I think I have a little bit left. Yeah. Maybe it'll draw your attention to those little mealy worms, huh? Well, at least you got one thumbs up, Rep. Are you doing better? Everybody must be snowed in. We got snow now, and it's probably an inch on the ground. It's supposed to be cold today, tomorrow, and melt by the weekend. Get your belly full. You said, oh wow. Deep breathing there, huh? Yeah, don't eat the jawbone again. If I don't feed him quick enough, he'll try and eat those jawbones. He got the one about halfway down the other day. Why are you teasing me? Yes. That was quite a salad. You want to finish chewing? You got it all the can't even get it down here. If you didn't have so much loose skin. Melted a lot of it. We got that cold front coming through here today and tomorrow, and it's in the 20s. It's the first time it's been in the 20s all year here. Went from 47 to 27. Did you get your fill? There's still some mealworms over here. Yeah, I know you ate out of my hand. Uh-oh. She's in a professional meeting. She did try to go live. Apparently she can't get reception. PJ. Must be a public meeting if she wanted to record it. Hey, DDT. All right, Mammy. Yeah, the excitement's over. He's headed back up for digestion. He'll come back down and clean the plate up later. Right now, all that lettuce he ate out of my hand is couldn't even make it all the way up. Yeah, he pushed all the skulls out of the way. Those things roll around every day. Not many people around this morning, I guess. All out playing in the snow. I love the snow, but it pretty much limits me now. That's a pretty big word coming from someone who's occupying Canada. No, he's not. If he would just identify, I would let him out. But when he was very young, he ran around my grandson's bedroom all the time. They always had him out. But if I open the top up, he'll climb and jump right out onto the floor. We got some snow today, man. Last night and right now. Small, small flakes, not real heavy. The ground isn't frozen yet. Just got my leaves done on Sunday, so I guess it can snow again. But we barely got an inch on the ground. A 300-gallon stock tank. Ah, I know what you're talking about. I used to have access to 4x8 sheets of Lexan for $10 a sheet. I built my own cages. I'd pour the coffee on it. Maybe it'll melt it. Yeah, it was nice when you had the keys to a furniture factory and you got everything at 50% off what they paid for it. It was some of the stuff they didn't want was just auctioned off or they threw prices on it to get it out of there. And they had one job where they got 100 sheets of Lexan and the job canceled, so they just had it stacked in the basement. And you put masking tape on both sides, and you can cut it on a table saw that's got a good blade. Good morning, sir dog. You missed the hand feeding. I was teasing him a little with the lettuce today. He was eating it out, pulling it out of my hand. Flaming snow remover, actually. Good to see you in here, Stuart Dog. I know you've been busy. I haven't been on as regular because I just am not doing as well. My grandkids came over and put up a 4-foot tree. I call it my Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Not bad for a 5 and a 7-year-old. I'm not going to touch it or fix it or anything. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Give you all a look. Let me move my. It's waiting for the elf to show up on top. My star would have been too big, too heavy. And the kids are really into the elf thing. So we're waiting for the elf to show up on the top. I don't know why I didn't think of it. My daughter did. She uses that thing to keep them in line by moving it around the house. And Val's watching. He tells Santa. Raining down there. Yeah, you didn't get the cold front quite as bad as we did. The Arctic cold blast created by global warming. This must be what they told me in the 80s was going to happen. We're going to freeze over. So they've done freeze, then they did thaw. I've really been working on what the next climate crisis is going to be after this one falls apart. Salt water is going to kill the planet. We got to get rid of all the salt water. You're going to go to 11 below tonight, Ben? Well, you get your ass out of Canada and come down to Michigan. I swear you Yoopers. The only ones at war with Canada, holding their property ransom for something. Having friends is important, especially for kids. Until they find out what friends do to you. I bet you spent all day yesterday, Ben, watching that hearing. Have you read the IG report yet? All 476 pages? The level of corruption in the government is so bad they can't even hide it anymore. Yeah, there were only 17 illegal acts taken on by the FBI, but they didn't do it because they were politically biased. They did it. Well, we don't know why they did it. I mean, nobody would do that if, well, maybe they're biased. Yeah, that's that Arctic cold front. Hey, Ben, it's a good night to bake cookies. Get that oven going. Yeah, I know. I saw it's going to get back up. It only has 2 days here in the 20s, and then it's back to the 40s. And that's only for a day or two. Then it's down to freezing and more snow on the weekend. So Trump is safe from impeachment. No, no, they said this morning they're filing articles of impeachment. They're going ahead. Obstruction of Congress and I don't know what the other malfeasance was. Schiff actually showed his ass on camera and they took no questions. What's actually happening in the meantime while we're being shown this magic trick between the Democrats and Republicans, the world society is still getting everything they want. Um, I'm stuck in the chair anyway, so other than the opening statements, I don't need to hear anybody's bullshit. I've listened to all of the testimonies from all the hearings the last 3 weeks. Hey, Jerry, what do if you change your name, I'll turn you blue anyway. Just been inducted into the Blue Army. Yeah, it's all a magic trick. It's they don't care how many of them fall. The system that is in place in the deep state and with Soros and the World Society, including Hillary Clinton, this whole thing, I guarantee you, was a step by step process to throw Hillary in at the end to win the election. There's no other reason that all these people, 20 some people, would go crazy ass on us. You watch. If it would have worked out, if they wouldn't have got caught with all this shit, they'd have thrown Hillary in here at the end and killed Trump's chance to win, and we'd be right where the deep state and the world society wants us. Yeah, that's the problem, Ben. As I sit there going, I see a little red dot on all these Democrats sitting there asking questions and those people answering them. Yeah, I see a big red dot on their forehead going, I could live with myself. You're trying to kill this country. And this country, I don't want to get too political, but it's sad that they think they should make the decisions. Ooh, Peachy Rider's up early. Morning, Peachy. Oh, now I got somebody beautiful in the room. Reptar, straighten up. I knew a Jerry Streeter in northern Michigan when I was in high school. The Streeters, we hunted kind of with them when we intersected. We would do some drives together on deer, but we really weren't. Other than that, no. He used to have a really good Friday night drinking games after we all got out of high school. I disagree, Jerry. If Hillary would have been elected, we wouldn't know anything that we know now. As it is, the feds are so trying to cover it up. The CIA so trying to cover it up. They're all lying through their teeth. Sniper lives matter. I hear you, Ben. Well, Jerry, if you go back to the Clinton impeachment, you can just everybody switches sides on what they're saying, the exact same things, pretty much. You can't do this when they were trying to impeach Clinton, the Democrats, you can't do this. This is wrong. The people elected him, blah, blah, blah. Now you got Clinton or Trump, who isn't really a Republican, but the Republicans are forced to be on his side. And they're saying, you can't do this. You can't. It's crazy. They think that they're actually like doing something. Personally, if they don't at least have a dozen people go up for treason, then I will not have increased my faith in our government by one millionth of a percent. Oh, everybody's hugging it out. Well, the difference is we have some groups that aren't in the government that are taking the steps. Judicial Watch is probably truth's best fighter right now for the last 25 years. And I mean, this whole conspiracy can be taken all the way back to when the whole society decided that they could make money in Ukraine if they took over the government, and they went in and taught these people how to have a uprising. And that's why Obama didn't send in lethal aid, because they wanted Ukraine to be weak so that we could take over. Not we, the American people, the world society, we. The whole world should be under one rule. Well, I'm holding out hope that the reason they didn't start legal proceedings with the last IG report, which said that Comey and them should go to jail, was because they're waiting for the whole big picture. But the IG report is just about the feds, and it couldn't look elsewhere. Durham is saying, "Hey, you don't know what's going on. You only know a tiny part of it." Barr is still saying spying. If you heard his speech to the Constitutional Society, he ripped the Congress, man. Well, if they would eliminate immunity for lying, because if the way I see it, there's two people sitting there testifying, and they're both testifying to something opposite. One of them fuckers is lying and should be held in perjury because they're lying. But no, they get their handshakes on the way out the door and thanked by everybody. Well, I've seen it run all the way back in one documentary bin that takes it all the way back to the 1800s or early 1900s when they started, or 19 something when they started the first think tank of outside the government that was going to study what was going on in the world and make recommendations. And from there, that little thing should have never happened, and it has grown into what it is now, where we give money to organizations that delve it out however they feel with no accountability. Even Trump isn't saying people should go to jail. He's just saying this should never happen again, which I think, carries more of a business sense. So to him, it's just business. He's went through losing it all and gaining it all back, so he knows that to him it's business. But to us, it's our country. And I really think the 2020 election is going to open up some eyes. It's just sad that they can sit up there and lie like their asses off and walk away. I mean, you guys didn't watch it yesterday. This is how bad it got. In the hearing, the first guy that spoke was on the Democrat side. Then he was a witness. I mean, first he was a witness, read a statement. Then he got to question the other people, and then he left, so nobody got to question him. I think his name was Burt, the attorney for the Democrats. That's just insane. Yeah, the Kennedys. The Kennedys were criminals that became politicians that said, "Hey, this is just easier. Nobody comes after us when we break the law in the government." Yeah, the thing is, they're elected. Some people voted for these people, so you got to live with that. That's it. You have to take the bad with the good because they're elected. It's like free speech is to protect the most abusive speech there is. It's not to protect the speech everybody agrees with. There's no conflict there. Yep, I agree, Ben. He wanted to clean things up, and you realize when all that Federal Reserve shit happened, when they invaded Hawaii and they invaded Beaver Island and Lake Michigan, and they took the kings out of power and went with the naval flag, and they did all this other uh, crap, creating a Federal Reserve that isn't like part of the government. It's a separate entity, and how they started paying the soldiers through the post office because they were going to get into all kinds of trouble for what they were doing. So they pushed all this shit privately around, and look what we ended up with. Social Security. Social Security was an annuity that had a mathematical formula that took into account increased populations way beyond what we have. However, they looked at it and went, well, we could use some money, so we'll throw it in the general fund. It'll be fine. No more annuity. When you don't have no more annuity, all you have is pay out and pay in. Social Security would never have ended had they left it the way it was created as an annuity. And our government don't give a shit about us, but they give billions to foreign countries. And they tell us we can't sleep in public or that we have to pay to put our boat in the water. But it's like I say, I'm not going to let my worry cause an ulcer because if socialism takes over, there's an issue with that because we have all the guns and food out here. Socialism can only take over in those big cities where they got neither. They eliminate having guns, and all their food has to be brought in, even though a big city like that could grow all the food they need on the tops of their roofs, literally. Inside this thermal bubble, they could grow more food than we can grow in dirt and artificial soil on the roofs of the buildings. But, well, no, we don't want to do anything that makes sense. Thanks for hanging out, Seward. Sorry I went political. Did you see what happened, Ben? President Trump was speaking to the Israeli Association Foundation or whatever, making jokes. And the news came out and said he was making anti Semitic remarks. It's like, what? They were laughing their asses off because it was funny. But somehow he hates Jews. Ooh. This pot of coffee is very active. Got through me real quick. Yeah. I know I'll see 2 or 3 more of these whole decades of bullshit. They always come up with something that they had that little 7-year-old girl talking about abortion. I think the guy should have just looked at her and says, "Do you realize that means that after you were born, your mom could have killed you?" Instead of being all, "Oh, yeah, you should have your right to kill babies. Women have earned their right to kill babies." Yeah, big difference. Watch the Ben Shapiro show. He says it all the time. There are a lot of people with Jewish descent that aren't Jews. Or Orthodox Jews and non-Orthodox Jews are different, but Israel as a nation, whether it's Jewish or Muslim, we don't tell other countries they can't exist because they're religious. I mean, I grew up and the only thing I knew about Jews was they had all the diamonds in New York City. It's like I didn't hate them. It was wrong. I mean, yeah, a lot of diamonds are, a lot of Jewish people work in the diamond industry. So what? It wasn't like I hated them for it. 90% of Jews are not Orthodox Jews. That's right. I think it's only around 10 or 15% of Orthodox Jews are what you would think of as a Jewish person, as a both country and religious person. But if you look at what go past the religion, you'll see that they're a very family oriented society. They base their society around family and respect of family, which we've destroyed. All right. I cannot wait any longer to get to where the good place is, not to make a mess on the floor. So I'm going to cut this off. Ben, DDT, thanks for coming in. I'll check out that video you posted. 30% here. When I went to Houston in the 81, I stayed with my brother-in-law, and one of his best friends was a hair cutter at Neiman Marcus, who was the rabbi for the gay Jewish Orthodox Church in Houston, which I didn't care, whatever. Okay, that's cool. You guys got a place to be religious. But I thought it was a little strange, but okay. If you want to discount it, the Jewish faith believes you shouldn't be gay and have a gay Jewish church, then good for you. What do I care? Yeah, cover your six. What do we say, Reptar? We gone?